guys, this is Melody, and today we're going to be doing a sketchbook tour. This sketchbook is, I believe, the Crockbook 160 gram by Claire Fontaine, and this little guy here is a wax seal that I got from Universal. It is the Hufflepuff wax seal, and I did not realize at the time that I was doing it upside down. So because this sketchbook was from a scrawler box, of course the first page is devoted to that month, and this was the month that I got all the Chameleon Liners. So these were little thumbnails, ideas of what I wanted to do with those, and this was the final piece. Not my favorite, if I'm being honest. This was me experimenting. This one, I think I was going off of a picture from Loish, maybe? It was somebody. If I can remember who it was, I will put them on Instagram. But I was just kind of looking at facial structures and how to draw them, trying to get ideas. And this was based off of a picture that I found on Pixels. I was trying to figure out, I'm always trying to figure out how I want to draw faces and experimenting. These, I believe, I drew on the plane on the way to Florida over the summer. Oh, sorry. And these are tickets from when we were there. Oh, September. I went in September. And then this is the beginning of Inktober. Right here I have a quote that says, "Do you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be?" I'm not sure where I heard that or who said it, but I liked it. Here, this little post-it note sketch became this. And this was just me drawing a little thing while we were at a restaurant. The prompt for this was mindless, so her eyes are just kind of blank. More tickets. I find that sometimes putting tickets in my sketchbooks help fill up the pages and get me through them faster so I don't get bored with them. Obviously, if it's a really expensive sketchbook and it's a really nice paper, I won't do this just because it feels wrong. But for stuff like this, I do it. This one I'm not super fond of. I think her face is okay though. The prompt was bait. The back here was using a gouache. I'm not sure what marker this was. And here the prompt was dragon. I'm not really sure how I feel about this, but I like the huge chunky lines with the white gel pen going around. I kind of like how that looked there. This was a gold pen around here, and then mostly Copics. This is probably my favorite Inktober drawing. All the lines were done with ink and a tiny paintbrush. So I inked in the big blocks after sketching it all out, and then I did some pencil for like, a little red on her face and stuff, and then I went in with inks and did the lining. The prompt was build. And I kind of weird interpretation of it, but I didn't want to do anything normal, so her heart was broken and she put it back together, so she was building her heart again. And these are just swatches of the inks I have. I have the Daler Rowney acrylic inks. More swatches of those. The prompt for this one was husky, so I went pretty obvious with that one. This one here, I combined 2 days, overgrown and wild, and just kind of did a little house that was being overgrown by plants. I'm sorry if I pause when I'm talking, but my throat is kind of dry from having a choir dress rehearsal this morning, and I'm drinking tea right now to help with that, so that's why there might be some weird pauses. This was day 7, Enchanted. Almost went like a Sailor Moon hairstyle, and grays and blacks with this gold. I really like the way that looks. Again, the line was done with inks, and I had seen some people on Instagram adding depth and dimension to blonde hair with blues and pinks, so I just kind of wanted to experiment with those with my Copics. This here I taped or glued in. I think I taped it. And they're alcohol inks. I had bought some, and these were just swatches I did. This, I'm not really fond of this. The prompt was frail. Prompt for this was Misfit, and I was just testing my Copic markers over here. I really need to refill some of them. This is another one that I really like, and the prompt was swing. I just really like the soft lines that you get from using the inks. I mixed it with a little bit of water so it wouldn't be so dark. I don't know. I think it's cute, and I liked the pastel colors with it. It's not something that I do frequently. I often tend to go towards dark colors, so it was fun to play with that. Then we have this doggy. The prompt was dizzy. All I could think was a golden retriever catching its tail, so that's what I did. And this one, day 10, was pattern. I think her eyes are too small, but otherwise I like this one, and I really like the color scheme. This one, the prompt was tasty, so I had someone eating French fries, and they're from McDonald's because they have the best fast food French fries. This day, the prompt was snow, so I just went with the girl that had kind of cooler, but still kind of pastel colors. Prompt for this was Ash, so yeah, Pokemon was the first thing that came to mind. This day, the prompt was sling, so again with the Copic markers. I actually really like the way that she turned out. I love her eyes, and honestly, she kind of reminds me of one of my sisters. So at this point, I wanted to loosen up. I was, looking at an image, but I just wanted to put it on paper and not overthink everything, as I typically do. So if you notice, the lines are a little rough, they're a little bit sketchier, but I honestly really like the way it looks. The prompt for this one was ghost, and I had seen a lot of artists do black backgrounds and then a character where the shading was done primarily with a red pencil. So that's kind of what I went for with this one. I think her eyebrows could be lower though. I think her face looks kind of weird to me because they're kind of high like that. I'm not sure. Just a thumbnail drawing. I try to do stuff like this so I can show whoever's commissioning me what we're going for, and if they like it, then I'll do the final piece. This one here, the prompt was ancient, so I just kind of went with a book. I'd like to do more stuff like this with someone, just like, I was going to say with someone reading, that too I guess, but with poses and just full body images. And then here, this was just a random sketch that I did at work. I really like this one for some reason. I feel like she looks like she could be in a cartoon. And then here we're at the most recent Scrawler box that I have unboxed, and this is the October one. These are just some drawings that I did with those supplies because I actually really liked them. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about them, but they're pretty good. And this one's pretty cute. I did mess up his face though. I don't know if you can tell at all, but I went over with a white gel pen, so if you're standing far enough away, you can't really tell, and maybe on the video footage you can't tell well, but if you look at it for too long, you'll notice. And then we end on kind of a disastrous note. I like the background, and I was going to use the white paint pen that came with the Scrawler box to do some silhouettes of trees, but it just would not show up. It did not work. So I started trying other stuff, and long story short, it just didn't turn out. But sometimes you try something new and it doesn't turn out, and that is what sketchbooks are for. They're for experimenting and not necessarily always having a perfect piece. So that is the end of this. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Definitely like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, because in my analytics I can see that about 75% of the views I get are from people that aren't subscribed. So it would be great if you people are subscribing. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next one.